The newspapers called me a killer. Small business owner kills teen. That's what they wrote. Didn't say he'd broken into my store 4 times. Didn't say he put my wife in the hospital. Didn't say he was pointing a gun at my face when I reached for mine. They gave me 15 years. You're protecting my family and my livelihood in a neighborhood the police forgot existed. Now I want you to think about that. Really think. A man comes into your place of business for the 4th time with a weapon. Your wife still has the scars from the 3rd time. And nobody is coming to help you. What would you have done? Because I know what I did. And I've been sitting here for 13 years because of it. My name is Anthony Marchetti. I'm 72 years old. My knees don't work right no more, and my hands, these hands that used to cut pipe and thread bolts for 14 hours straight, they shake when I try to hold a cup of coffee. The state of Rhode Island says I committed 2nd-degree murder. I say I did the only thing left to do when 4 police reports, 2 security tapes, and a wife with a cracked cheekbone weren't enough for anybody to lift a finger. My shop, Marchetti's Hardware, was on Federal Hill for 43 years. My father opened it in 1961. I took it over in '88. It's gone now. Closed 6 months after they put me in here. Nobody to run it. You gotta understand what that shop was. It wasn't just a business. It was the neighborhood. Old Mrs. Costello came in every Tuesday for light bulbs she didn't need just to talk to somebody. Paulie De Silva brought his kid in on Saturdays, and I taught that boy how to use a level, how to read a tape measure. The guys from the fire station 2 blocks over, they'd come in for coffee and stay for an hour. My wife Marie worked the register. She knew every customer's name, every kid's birthday. She kept a bowl of Butterscotch candies on the counter, same brand since '92 because the kids expected it. And then this crew started hitting the block. First time was March 2011. I wasn't there. Marie was alone. Kid came in maybe 15, 16 years old, grabbed the register, shoved Marie against the shelf, and ran. She had bruises on her arms for 2 weeks. I filed a report. The officer, I'll never forget this, he wrote everything down, closed the folder, and said, "We'll look into it." They didn't look into nothing. Second time was June. Same kid. I was there this time. He had a friend with him. Took everything in the register and a box of power tools off the back wall. I had them on camera. Brought the tape to the precinct myself. The detective, young kid, couldn't have been more than 30. He watched the tape, nodded, and said the image wasn't clear enough for a positive ID. I said, "And that's him?" "That's the same kid from March." He said, "We need more than your word, Mr. Marchetti."
My word.
43 years on that block. My word wasn't enough. Third time was October. Marie was closing up, alone. He came in with a knife this time. Not just robbery, he hit her. Hit my wife. She fell into the display rack. Cracked her cheekbone on the edge of a shelf unit I'd built with my own hands. I drove her to the hospital. Sat there for 4 hours, held her hand while they x-rayed her face, and then I went to the police station, the same precinct, and I filed another report. You know what the sergeant told me? You want to know what he said? "Mr. Marchetti, you might want to consider installing better locks." Better locks. My wife is sitting in the emergency room with her face swollen shut, and a police sergeant, a man I pay taxes to protect me, tells me to install better locks. I hired a lawyer after that. $3,500 I didn't have. He filed for a restraining order. The judge said we couldn't get a restraining order because we didn't know the kid's legal name. The police had never identified him. 13 months of reports, 2 tapes, 1 hospitalization, and the system didn't even know who he was. Marie stopped sleeping. She'd hear a noise at night and grab my arm so hard it left marks. She didn't want to go to the shop anymore. She was scared of the place she'd spent 20 years in. Our place, our life, and I knew he was going to come back. Because why wouldn't he? Nothing stopped him the first 3 times. Nothing. I bought a gun on November 14th. Legally. Background check, waiting period, everything by the book. And I put it under the counter right next to the receipt book. I didn't buy it to kill anybody. I bought it because the people whose job it was to protect us had made it real clear they weren't gonna do it. December 8th, 2012. Saturday. I remember because the Patriots were playing the Texans and I had the radio on behind the counter. Marie wasn't there. She hadn't been in the shop since October. I was alone. About 5:45. Getting dark early, the way it does in December up there. I was doing inventory on the fastener wall, counting lag bolts, if you can believe that. Counting lag bolts. The bell on the door rang. I looked up, and there he was. Same kid, same hoodie, same dead eyes. But this time he had a gun. Not a knife, a gun. A .38 looked like, pointed right at my chest. He said, and I remember every word, he said, "Old man, just give me everything and I won't mess you up like I messed up your wife." Like I messed up your wife. He said it like it was funny. Like it was something to be proud of. My hand was 2 feet from the gun under the counter. 2 feet. And I looked at this kid, this 16-year-old kid with a .38 in my face who had terrorized my wife, my neighborhood, my life for 9 months. And something inside me just went quiet. I didn't feel angry. I want you to understand that. I wasn't seeing red, I wasn't shaking. I was calm. Calmer than I'd been in months. Like everything no, it wasn't peace. It was something colder than peace. It was certainty. He turned his head. Just for a second, looked at the register. I reached under the counter. He heard me. He turned. And then he ran. He ran toward the door, and I shot him. He was running. Toward the door, away from me. And I pulled the trigger twice. He went down 3 feet from the exit, fell face first into a rack of paint cans. I heard them rolling across the floor. That sound, metal on concrete, I hear it every night. I put the gun on the counter. I walked around to where he was laying, and I stood there. I just stood there. I didn't call 911. I didn't run. I just looked at him, at this kid on my floor, and the radio was still playing. I could hear the game, the crowd cheering about something. And there was a boy on my floor. He was 16. I know that now. I didn't know it then. To me, he was the man who hurt my wife. The man who terrorized my block. The man who came back 4 times because nobody told him he couldn't. But he was 16. You know what's funny? Not funny, haha. Funny like a knife in your ribs. 9 months. 9 months of reports and tapes and hospital visits, and the police couldn't find this kid. Couldn't identify him. Couldn't do nothing. After I shot him, they identified him in 20 minutes. Had his whole file. Juvenile record, prior arrests, known associates. 20 minutes. The same system that told me to install better locks had his name, his address, and his rap sheet the whole time. They just didn't care until one of us ended up on the floor. The trial lasted 4 days. The prosecutor kept saying one word, over and over. Fleeing. He was fleeing, Mr. Marchetti. He was retreating. The threat was over. You chose to shoot. And he was right. Legally, he was right. The kid was running. I could have let him go. I could have called the police. The same police who did nothing 4 times and waited. And he would have come back a 5th time. Or a 6th. Or he would have come to my house this time. Or he would have found Marie alone somewhere. But the law doesn't deal in what ifs. The law deals in what was. And what was a 72-year-old man shooting a 16-year-old in the back. That's what the jury saw. That's all they needed to see. After the conviction, things no, they didn't go. They collapsed. Like a building with the foundation pulled out. Marie tried to run the shop. She lasted 5 months. 5 months of coming in alone, of jumping every time the bell rang, of sitting behind that counter where the gun used to be. She closed it in June 2013. 43 years. My father's name on the sign. Gone. You know what a hardware store is in a neighborhood like Federal Hill? It's not Home Depot. It's not a place you drive to. It's the place where Mr. Giordano gets his pipe fittings on a Sunday morning and stays for coffee. It's where Carmen brings her grandson to learn how to fix a leaky faucet. It's the center of the block. And when it's gone, when that space goes dark and the sign comes down, the block starts dying. 3 more businesses on my street closed within 2 years. The bodega, the barber, the dry cleaner. The same crew, different kids now, same crew, kept hitting them. And nobody fought back. Nobody could. The one guy who fought back was sitting in here. That's the thing nobody talks about. They write about the kid I shot. They don't write about the neighborhood I held together for 43 years. They don't write about what happened to Federal Hill after I left. Marie comes to see me every other Sunday. She takes 2 buses. He's 68 years old and she takes 2 buses to sit across from me for 45 minutes in a room that smells like floor wax and old coffee. She lost weight, a lot of weight. She doesn't keep the Butterscotch candies anymore because there's no counter to put them on. She lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in Cranston now. My wife, who ran a business, who knew every family on the block, who made that neighborhood breathe, she lives alone in a 1-bedroom watching TV shows about people cooking. I protected her. I stopped the man who was hurting her. And I took away everything she had. The shop, the neighborhood, the life, her husband. I took it all away by trying to keep it safe. That's the kind of joke God tells when he's not laughing. People ask me if I have regrets. I have a list of things I wish were different. I wish the police had done their job. I wish I'd never had to buy that gun. I wish he'd kept running and made it out that door. But do I regret pulling that trigger? After 4 break-ins? After my wife's face was broken? After every door I knocked on was slammed shut? I'd do it again. And I hate that. I hate that I can sit here 72 years old, 13 years of my life gone, my shop gone, my block gone, my wife riding 2 buses to see me through glass, and I still say I'd do it again. Because what does that make me? But then I think, what would you have done? If it was your wife, your place, your name on the sign? 4 times he came. 4 times nobody helped. And the 5th time he's got a gun in your face and he's bragging about hurting the woman you love. So you tell me what the right answer was. Because 13 years in, I still don't know. I just know what I did. I just miss my shop. I miss the bell on the door. I miss handing Mrs. Costello a light bulb she don't need and watching her smile like I just gave her the world. That's all I want back. Just one Tuesday morning,